and welcome back to Let's Chat with Brandon Tyler, also known as the Pod. Today we are covering mostly just the baseball regular season for the first full week plus a few days, and this past Nintendo Direct discussing the Switch 2, and might cover a couple other things that are relatively notable from other professional sports leagues, but for the most part it's going to be mostly baseball related.
Yep. So let's just get the short one out of the way. I'm just going to talk about the Nintendo Direct real quick. The Switch 2, they just announced that it's going to be about $450 market price for the Switch 2. The thing that people are very mad about is you're not going to have actual carts. You're going to have like a key card or whatever.
Yep.
And then the games go from $80 to $90 MSRP,
and that's max.
That's ridiculous.
It is like $80 for the digital copies max, $90 for physical copies max. Physical in air quotes because they're just game keys where you just plug that into the system and then you still download it off the internet and then it's saved on that game key cartridge.
And here's my thing. For Switch 2, there really is no point in getting a physical copy because you're not getting the case. You're just getting the key card.
Yeah, and it's like they're releasing an enhanced edition for Breath of the Wild. They're doing that for Legends ZA. And then Mario Kart World is $80. So if you bundle it with the system, then it's $30 cheaper.
No, $30 cheaper. That doesn't matter. You're still paying 500 something bucks
because of tax. Yeah,
tax.
Yeah, that thing is an expensive monster, and it's like the game prices are back to what they were back in the mid '90s.
Yeah,
really, like you could get like KI for like $100 back then.
And then, like I said, you don't need the physical copy because I don't think people usually buy the physical copy to have the case and the box art.
For the most part these days, like there are some people like, yeah, I like physical copies. That way I feel like I actually own my games. Well, if they're downloaded on your system and they're not a multiplayer only thing, you can still access them after, let's say, they're taken off the marketplace. Just make sure they're backed up.
Yeah. I don't know what Nintendo is thinking, but this is probably
I just read an article today that they
hold on.
Okay.
This is probably the poorest decision they've ever made.
And that's why I read an article today where they did like a War Room Crisis mode situation. The last time they lowered the price on their system was the 3DS when that first was supposed to launch. And when they did that, the CEO of Nintendo took a pay cut. Oh,
gee. How much of a pay cut?
I don't know. I have to double check that.
Yeah, the 3DS, I think that was just the normal one, right?
The original 3DS, they had to lower the price and the CEO took a pay cut. And that was like 10 years ago.
It was, hold on.
It was 3 years before Nintendo sold their majority share on the Seattle Mariners, and now they only own like 10% of them, and they're not the primary owner anymore.
It was 14 years ago. February 26, 2011 is when the 3DS came out.
All right, and that's when the CEO at the time took a pay cut.
Yeah, and then they said, "Oh, we're going to make the Switch 2 even more expensive and games more expensive." I go, "Can you just put them back at $30, please?"
Yeah, it's like for the games, depending on the company, I can stomach 70 if it's like a very high quality FromSoft thing, but if it's something like not that, then I'll be like, keep it at like 60, please.
I can't stomach the $80-$90 BS they're putting out there.
And then that makes you think, wow, maybe GTA might actually be $100. I'm not buying it anyways.
I'm not probably gonna buy it. I had my fun with GTA 5. I don't need GTA 6. The only reason why I would get it is for streaming, but I'm too small, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so therefore, why bother?
Mm-hmm.
And then, other major sports leagues. Yesterday, Ovechkin broke the career goal record set by Gretzky by 1 goal in the same amount of games played. So that was a thing.
Yes, congratulations to Mr. Alex Ovechkin. He broke Wayne Gretzky's record when he set that back in the 80s and 90s. You know,
Yeah,
it
that
only
was something.
took 35, 40 years, but it's okay.
Right, and
like I
we
said,
were doing the D&D campaign when I was like streaming the game right next to my laptop on the iPad.
Right. But
I was like,
in
I
other
have
news,
to share this.
but in other regular season news, we just had the first full week of the regular season, which they call opening week.
Yep.
It's not looking good for the Chicago White Sox. They're 2-7 and on a 5-game losing streak here.
Oh, did that? I wonder, did that get worse? I'm pulling up the.
It got worse.
Oh, yeah, no, they're still 2-7. They haven't played their next game yet. They're probably gonna lose that one. Who are they up against?
Cleveland.
Yeah, they're gonna lose. But then again, the AL Central's a joke.
Yeah, well, the AL Central's a joke, but the Tigers are actually doing pretty well in that division.
As of right now, the White Sox aren't doing anything. They did okay for what, like 3 days, and then they just fell off planet Earth?
Not even. They did okay for 2 days because they only have 2 wins.
They're only, oh my goodness, only 2 days. Hey, Reinsdorf should probably sell the team, although he was exploring that option back in October.
But here's the thing. They're not the worst team in the league. You want to know who takes that cake?
Let me take a wild guess. It's
Go ahead.
Colorado, no, Atlanta.
It's Atlanta with a whopping 1-8 record.
How the hell is Atlanta 1-8? I suppose they're going to get better over during the course of the season, but what the hell?
They suck.
I mean, right now they do. Part of it's their injuries.
Yes. Looking at the NL Central, for some reason the Cubs are in first. Don't worry, that'll get worse.
What's the acronym again? Completely useless by September?
Correct.
It doesn't matter who's on the team.
Brewers aren't doing half bad. They're 5-5, 500 percentile or 500 percentage points.
St. Louis is rebuilding. Pittsburgh has been lost for years. Cincy's in a constant state of retool.
I'm surprised San Francisco is doing as well as they are right now. LA was at the top for a while.
Right. But
San Fran
has how much billions of dollars or millions of dollars in deferred money?
Yes, but San Fran, they went on a 7-game winning streak.
Yeah, they did. And then when you look at the AL side, the Red Sox are tied with the Yankees for the top of their division, but everyone from Yankees and lower is on one of them losing streaks outside Baltimore, which only lost 1 game out of the past. Yeah. Well, okay, they're 4-6 for the last 10.
It's the same with the AL West, with Texas, LA Angels, and Houston on a winning streak, and the Athletics and Seattle are losing.
And what's really funny with the whole Texas Rangers thing is they have the worst batting average in the league right now.
Yeah, but they won the World Series
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
So I'm pretty sure the fans don't mind.
Who won it last year again?
Oh, LA bought theirs.
Oh, that's right.
They bought theirs with deferred money.
They just bought it.
Exactly. Well, the Yankees buy theirs too, but it's not as egregious as the Dodgers, where they'll just go buy their talent out of Japan.
That's right. It was the LA New York Yankees World Series.
I boycotted it.
Oh yeah,
Never
everybody
happened.
Did. No, it did not happen.
Yeah, no, it definitely did not happen. Boycotting that, and they need to put a thing where they put a salary cap on deferred money. They need to have a salary floor of $95 million a year, a salary cap for the team at $220 million, and leave it alone for 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
And
try, though.
Then you, of course, in the opening series in New York for Yankee versus Milwaukee was the major introduction to them torpedo bats.
I heard about that. What is going on with that?
So with the torpedo bats, what they did is they moved the weight of the bat from the head down to the barrel. So that way you're getting more clean and contact hits rather than having players get jammed all the time or barely miss.
So this is just the modern day corking of the bat.
No, because these bats actually fit in the MLB's regulation for the bats.
I thought they were banning the torpedo bats.
No, there were there's discussions that there should be, and then there's others that shouldn't be. Manfred, our favorite commissioner, is like, these things are good for baseball, especially because they're causing controversy.
Yeah, and that puts money in his pocket.
Yep. And then they're thinking after Manfred's gone, have Anastasio of Milwaukee possibly take over as commissioner.
Lovely.
But Manfred, as we know, he did some good things while he's commissioner. He did some other decisions that were absolutely terrible ideas, like the runner on second base in extra innings when it's not the playoffs. The expanded playoff format, that's actually fine in my opinion. I could argue even adding one more wild card team to that. The pitching clock was a good addition. They could extend that a little bit so pitchers don't blow out their arms more. Otherwise, and then the universal DH, I'm just kind of indifferent on.
Universal DH, it makes sense. They've been wanting to do that for like 20 years.
And there's each year there's less and less pitchers who could hit anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you have these baseball playing gods like Ohtani.
Yes.
So just disregard those.
Was there anything else this week, or is that pretty much it?
No, those were the major portions. I'd say we did pretty good overview of what happened. And I would say in the future, what will probably end up happening is we'll do a brief recap if anything major happened in the baseball regular season, since we're both baseball guys. And later on this week in studio, we'll have Dr. Mike Olson to talk about Brass Ensemble's Easter Morning Brass. So it's a pseudo part 2 from the previous episode, as well as stuff related to the Madison Symphony.
Yes, and then after that episode on Thursday, next week we will not have an episode.
Next week's off, and it's this Friday for Dr. Olson. And then what was after Easter again?
You have the schedule. I'm not sure.
I think we were thinking probably something political in nature, but that is also up to change depending what happens.
Right.
I think that's how we're going to be going about it. Anyways, if anybody else had any suggestions or want to contact us, just go through the community Facebook page. You can find our announcements on Facebook and X. And then you can also go on X to communicate with us directly as well. On top of that, you can also email us at letschatbt@gmail.com. Otherwise, put favorite, follow, rate 5 stars, downloads to help out the pod. The more downloads, the better, as that's the only metric we're able to track things by, unfortunately.
Yep. And we will see you on the next episode.
Yep. Peace.